you've mastered and you have scaled your business, you've built this empire, you've built something that you're really, really proud of. But who is holding you while you do all of that? I I want to be real. I'm going to tell you a story of my experience in this industry and what I've created. And the reason why I've seen so many people come into the industry with me, get amazing success, and then they disappear. It's like, shroom, they disappear. And I'm like, where did they go? But it wasn't until I had my own experience that I realized where they went and what is important for them, for how to have staying power and the kind of support that you need in order to do that. And so when we think about you, you have a wildly successful business. The revenue is there, the clients are there, you are so really good at what you do. And so good, in fact, that you get recommendations, you have repeat clients. It is what you really wanted. It is the success that you wanted. But there's something that you can't ignore anymore, and it's the weight of it all, which means that, like, as more people come into your world and more people get the results that they're getting, you feel a weight. It's not a failure weight, right? And that's something that people think that you're really, like, people are afraid of. Like, you get, and what happens if I fail? But for you, it's more of a success weight that is getting heavier and heavier the more success that you get. And it's because of responsibility, right? When you're leading at the level that you're leading, it is a constant pressure that we place it on ourselves. It's not a pressure from other people. It's actually a pressure that we place on ourselves. It's the expectation that we want to make sure that everyone that comes into our world receives exactly what we know is possible, gets the success that we know is possible, and we start to take on even more responsibility for everyone else's results, which is what starts to create a lot of pressure. And like I said, it's self-created pressure. And like, despite all your wins, despite all the things that you're having, you'd start to ask, and I asked myself this question, like, can I hold this? Can I hold this? And what is missing for you is a place, it's a space, it's a sanctuary where you can go to exhale, like a place where you can go lay it all down, recalibrate back to that big vision, and remember that it's not you holding this all by yourself. And that's why I created Divinity House. And so let me tell you why I know what you're experiencing, and it is because I was you. Oh my God. I remember a time where I had a huge month. It was like my first $60,000 month. I had clients that were coming out of the wazoo. I had 300 and 400 people in my free experiences. I was so proud of myself. So I decided that I wanted to hit that $100,000 month. I knew that that was the next thing that I was going to do. I was ready to hit that. And so at the time, I saw this other coach and mentor. She was just killing it. She was doing so amazing. And I fell for the shiny object. I was like, oh, that's what I need. I need to work with that person, because I really thought that it was a strategy that was going to get me to the $100,000 months, and not like, I was already growing. I already had 20, 30 now years of experience. I had already led billion-dollar brands, add hundreds of $1 million to bottom lines. Like, I didn't need strategy. Like, I didn't need strategy, but that's kind of the mentorship that I went into, was more of a strategic type mentorship. And so I found myself like feeling the weight and the pressure, because it was the biggest investment that I've ever done. It was, I guess, about $30,000. I had bi-weekly payments coming out, and it was just more and more and more and more pressure. Like, oh my God. And it was so much so that specific coach had shared her breakdown moment that she had just had with her own coach. And so I was like, oh my God, so she'll understand. And so I've been taught, right? I had been taught that me, especially being who I was as a Black woman, that I couldn't show anyone else my own pain, and I couldn't let anybody see me sweat, right? Don't let them see you sweat, because you got to be 100% better. You got to be 150% better than the other person in order to receive what everyone else receives. So that was in my head as well. But I was like, I can let my guard down in this space. I am going to, like, just let her hear what's going on and how stressed I am, and all of that. So I go and I share how stressed I am and how afraid I am, and how, like, it was such a vulnerable moment, because I usually keep the guard up because I got to have it all together kind of thing. So I share, and the response that I get was that I wasn't embodying my work, and it hurt me so much, because then I said, oh my God, if I'm having a stressful moment, does that mean that I'm not a great mentor? Does that mean that I'm not a great CEO or leader of my organization? And does that mean that I'm not, like, I help my clients quantum leap? They were making millions. I wasn't even making millions, and my clients were. And it made me feel like I wasn't good at what I did, when that wasn't the support and help that I needed at that time. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down, if you're watching this and you can feel what I'm saying. And I remember at that moment, it broke me down for a second in that moment, but then right immediately I was like, oh, I get it. That is not her skill set. Like, that was not that coach's skill set. And I should have paid more attention to the space that I needed with my heart, instead of buying with the shiny object syndrome, or this is what's going to get me to $100,000 months, when that was not what was going to get me to that. What was going to get me to that, where I needed to be, was going to be an energetic ninja, somebody like myself, a space where I didn't need to perform, where it wasn't all about money wins. Yes, we get to celebrate money wins. I love money wins. In fact, that kind of shows the shifts that you're making and the bigness of you. It shows you're stepping into your fame, your fortune, your fulfillment. It's all good. I love that. But I needed a place where I could be vulnerable, where I could face the doubts that were creeping in, where I could say, oh my goodness, I'm going through the spiral moment, right? I thought I shifted this. So wow, now it's time for me to shift this at a deeper level, and not a space where I was going to be told I wasn't embodying my work. I needed a space that I could heal the things that I had already healed. I needed somewhere where I could be vulnerable. And if I was feeling if I was feeling something that nothing was off limits. And that's when I noticed and realized that this industry really wasn't designed to hold really powerful women through all of the shifts and the changes that happen when you are holding more. I'm built resilient. My ancestral line, my family, like all the things that we have been through and all of the generations in every lifetime is resilient. I am resilient AF. And that's something that I had taken for granted and thought everybody else was just as resilient. And then I realized they weren't. And so that's when I realized, I said, well, most of the women in this industry, most of the people in this industry haven't gone through the things that I've gone through, or I don't have things built into, like the stamina, the resilience built into their systems the way I do. And they don't understand the energetics and the spirituality behind it all. And that's when I decided, I was like, you know what? This industry needs a space, and Divinity House was born. Because right now you're doing it all. You are. You're running high level programs. You're generating, the money that you thought you would make in a year. You're generating that in a month. You are dealing with like clients and issues and Telegram situations and is Reddit threads and all of these things, and all of it's happening. And what I have seen so many women hit their $1 million month, or the $1 million year, or they're having multi 6-figure years, and then the pressure comes and then they crumble because they haven't had the support that they need for someone who can walk them through this crumble and remind them how resilient they truly are, or help build up their resilience so that they can remember that they wouldn't have brought this on, they wouldn't have received all of this if they couldn't handle it. The part that you're not saying out loud is that you're wondering, you're like, oh, what if I slow down? What if everything falls apart? What if I'm not ready for this next level? Can I hold this success? Oh my goodness, do I have to sacrifice my life, my family, my friends, like all of those things? And those are thoughts that you think, and you're like, oh, but these are low level thoughts, or should I be thinking this, and all of this kind of stuff? And there's no such thing. You are a powerful spiritual human. You have been placed on this earth as a light worker, leader, ascension anchor, someone who is helping everyone else be better for themselves. And you also need a space where you can be your best you. You're not meant to hold anything alone. And that is why in Divinity House, we're doing things very different. It is a year-long experience, and it's not a mastermind. It's not just a mastermind. It's really not about a coaching program. It's not about, like I said, it's not strategic. It's a space where 90% energetic, because that is what I have found has taken me where I need to be. And 10%, yes, we can talk strategy. I know strategy like anyone else. It is my brilliance. I get that. But there are things where you need energetic calibrations. There are sessions that you need where you get to shift and recalibrate and remove hidden blocks and things that you didn't expect to come back. You need high-level mentorship that is about deep, energetic conversations that is focused on your alignment, and then maybe there's a little bit about like the execution and all of that stuff. But the most important thing is about the connection with women who are also rising and experiencing these type of things, where and you get to be clear on like woo-do. It's about a lot of woo, and then how to actually strategically implement the woo of it all. You need a space where we get to come together in person, and we get to sit down and we get to talk about all the things. You get to expand, of course, your knowledge base, but you get to integrate and ground into the most powerful, energetic container of your life. And that is what Divinity House is. That is what I created it to be, because you no longer need to carry the weight of your business on your own. You don't have to navigate all of your decisions with this false, I know what I'm doing, I know what it is, when you actually have, if you actually did one little shift energetically, that certainty would be real. Where you get to show up in your most authentic power. And most importantly, you stop feeling that you're all alone in this success. Because here's the truth, you didn't build this empire to be overwhelmed by it or trapped by it. You built it to feel free. You built it to feel expansive, and you built it to feel light. And this is what you get to experience when you spend a year in Divinity House. It comes back to, oh my God, I'm resilient as hell, and I wouldn't have created this empire if I wasn't the one to experience it in the way that I desired to experience it. You get to be held at a higher level, and you get to be held in a way that is going to just blow your freaking mind. And so I created Divinity House. It is $14,444 in its launch price. Right now we are in the pre-sale, because this starts in February. And in the pre-sale, it is $7,777 paying full for a full year. And then, or it's $777 per month. This is for the woman who is determined that she gets to be all of her. She gets to be unapologetic. She is positive to her core. She doesn't let anything stop her. And she is ready to really ground into the energetic core. She's ready to woo-do it out. She's ready to be the divine diva she was sent here on this earth to be. She's ready to speak about the topics that she really wants to speak about, that she's been scared to talk about online. And she's now ready to just let it all hang out, let all of her power be seen, and take up the most space that she's ever taken. And if this story has touched your heart, and if you're like, I need a space like that, then DM me and we can chat, and I will get you the application. Hugs, kisses, and all of the feels. Remember, you are the divine diva. You are here to be healed and to feel your most powerful self. And I am happy to walk alongside you while you do it.